think I'll start a little geek out today on the Huntress. This is my Huntress Action figure from, what, 1989? No, 1999, after she was in the JLA. But I remember Huntress way before that. I'm not going to go off on the Huntress the whole time, but these are my two old kitty issues. Look how beat up this is. This is All-Star Comics 69. First brief appearance of the Huntress, and yes, she did have like 2 appearances in the same month. And this is the one I have. I think no, the ads are still here, but there's her brief appearance. That's it. That's the first appearance of the Huntress. Tough to do a lot with the Huntress here and there. And it gets reprinted in a nicer spot in some trades. And I think they made this one book as well, which I have upstairs. And yeah, there she is again with a little bit better coloring. Ta-da! So that's officially the first kind of brief appearance of the Huntress. This book has been loved, indeed. It's very thin. I think the ads, I must have taken the ads out. At least the ones I could that didn't have a... well, no, they're still here. I don't know why this is so thin. But there you go. This is my... look at this. This is my Huntress book. Grade this. Huh? Okay, so this has some value for me. This was always fun, too. This was the death of the Earth 2 Batman, also featured in this trade. This was, I discussed on a previous comic episode, the implosion of 1978-79. So all these Justice Society stories and All-Star Comics had to move over to Adventure Comics, and you had the anthology series. You had Wonder Woman. And this is a time for the Lena Carter Wonder Woman that was originally set in World War II. So the Wonder Woman title at the time moved to Earth 2 Wonder Woman in World War II. A lot of twos going on there. So they moved the Silver Age Earth 1 Wonder Woman at the time. They just put her into an anthology book. And I don't think did I ever read this story? It's The Voyage of the Sorcerer's Lost. No, probably not. So I'm sure these will see the light of day one of these days, because you have to reprint every book now just for the sake of reprinting it. But you had Dead Man in here, you had an Aquaman run. So all these books that were canceled around 78 found more life in Adventure Comics and World's Finest Comics and background, or back what's the word I'm looking for? Backstory books in, I think The Flash had Dr. Fate and Firestorm. This Joe Stanton Huntress showed up in Wonder Woman proper a little bit afterwards, and that's also in a nice trade collection you can get that I have upstairs. But there it is, and that's all because I just picked my Huntress Action figure. Now, I had another one with a little stand because that's just the way I was. So this was Black Outfit Huntress. And I didn't mind this outfit. It didn't get like that crazy Jim Lee outfit later on. It was too much. I think even Gail Simone acknowledges that as she's writing Huntress with, I don't feel right in this getup. So this was a favorite of mine. And, we go back to the Joe Stanton model right here. I got this on a discount at my comic shop because her little bat ears got clipped off because they weren't quite solid, but there it is. So that's my 1, 2, 3 on the Huntress. Don't know why. Well, I can't. But there you go. So there's no Huntress mobile. There's no Huntress plane. Huntress gets a bad rap. I don't know what she's doing now in the books. My transition into some Batman trivia, because I felt like I was a little bit down on Batman the last time. I was down on the Joker. And I was down on the oversaturation of Batman all the time, every time. And yeah, I stand by everything else. Batman Begins, fine movie. The stuff that came afterward, not so much. All right, random question time. Here we go. Let's try some Batman questions. Boom, boom, boom. Do-do-do-do. And one at a time. This is going to mess up the... background comics always mess up the autofocus, so let's give it a go. Batman Incorporated. When was this? Thing about these questions is they're all over creation. I stopped reading Bat books, like a lot of comic books. I stopped reading that in, like 2002. 2002, 2003. Stopped buying. Now, I later caught up on a lot of trades. I'm not sure if there were any Batman trades. I think I remember reading the Neil Gaiman, Whatever Happened to the Batman, which was the last Batman book in the style of the Alan Moore Silver Age Superman. I digress. Well, the whole thing's a digression. What do I care? I haven't even looked at this question correctly yet. Let me grab a pen, too, so we can mark off that I've done this question after we're done with it. Batman Incorporated. I think I've heard of that, but I can't place it, so I let everybody down. These questions, I'm really losing my credibility on a lot of these. Oh, okay. Was this the Grant Morrison run where he's like Batman around the world? So he's looking for the Parisian Batman? Yeah, I don't know. Was it a hero we already knew? Someone based in Paris? You got me. This is after my time, so someone will have to educate me. Or I'll have to go look it up. Should I be inclined to do so? Oh, and so this is it, I would only know this because of Batman Begins, the character played by Morgan Freeman, who did exist in the books in the 70s, but when I was reading a lot of them in the 80s and 90s, he was nowhere around, and I can't remember his name. So I'm not doing well on the Batman. Where's my Huntress questions? Well, we can do some of those. Ooh. This one I got. Jason Todd was killed. Was that Lonely Place of Dying? Or Death in a Family? Death in the Family. What was Lonely Place of Dying? Now I'll have to go look that up too. But it was Death in the Family, right? That's when we killed Jason Todd. Because the readers were surveyed and they demanded it, I guess, when they called a 900 number and had to pay for the opportunity to vote on the death of a character, which, Again, I haven't kept up on the Robins either. What happened to Tim Drake? Was he doing stuff? Remember Tim Drake and Young Justice? But, after the 52 stuff, I just stopped. I did read the 52 Earth 2 books because, again, it was the Power Girl Huntress book that Paul Levitz wrote. And it was nice that those were like self-contained stories, even though they did... Comic books are like wrestling, where you have all this build-up to the pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view never pays off. And you see that a lot with comics, where the monthly issues are fine, there's a story happening, but then it gets interrupted with the big crossover yearly event, whatever crisis is happening, and it never pays off. Now, what was innovative a decade or so ago, the weekly 52 books, very good, in the right direction. Those were a pleasure to read, and the countdown to Final Crisis books are great, but the Final Crisis itself was irredeemable. From what I remember, let's have Darkseid take over, and all our heroes that we like are all forget it. That's too much darkness in my comic. There's a place for it, but it is really off-putting. Maybe I'm just a cranky old man, but Now I'm going back when time permits. I need to read Morrison's multiverse books. What was it, the Multiversity? Is that what he called it? I want to read that, and then I want to read that. That Watchmen-related book. I can't remember the name of it. And then I'll do that Dark World book, because I just want to get a sense of what DC is trying to do with the multiversity stuff. If you watched my overview of the Star Trek Coda books, I do get geeked out when it comes to multiple timelines, dimensions, and all. And I was taken with a brief line in the Bendis run of Legion that ended before it even began, as far as I was concerned, where you have this version of Brainiac 5 this finally acknowledging, hey, just enjoy the space you're in. Stop worrying about the continuity stuff. I stopped worrying about that a while ago. We're just looking at interpretations of some base characters, and that's all we have. If you want the long stories, they still exist. Go read the 90s run of Legion. That's awesome. It came out in a big old Omni. I'm looking forward to that one of these days. So that's a Jason Todd question. Death in the Family. Now I want to know what Lonely Place of Dying was. That's probably beforehand. It doesn't feel like that was 88, but I guess it was. Huh. Oh, Surrogate Mother. Is this an Adam West reference? What was? Sorry, I had to do that. Who was the I can't remember her name. Aunt. Oh man, that's the only Adam West I can think of. Surrogate Mother that's probably wrong. But nothing else comes to mind. Unless there's no League of Assassins stuff involved in this. No? Man, really not batting well on the Batman questions. What are you gonna do? I got to get going. I got to get the Batman from the back of the memory to the front of the long-term memory. But you know, if I don't know anything at all, then I just don't know anything at all. We will wait for the answers. What's next? Okay, I got this one. You know, you want to say Nightwing, but that's not... What was he called? He was called Red Robin. Like the chain of restaurants? Was that his name, Red Robin? What did they call him? And sorry, yeah, it's not like I'm on camera, but, you know, my eyes water a lot. I'm a big fan of artificial tears because of the eyes, but that's neither here nor there, is it? Red Robin sounds like a stupid name, but I think that's what his name was. He had a Robin outfit on. I'm just going to stick with Red Robin. That's... The thing about Red Robin as a burger joint is that I was always annoyed that they didn't serve it on plates, because that's kind of the person I am. I expect to have my meal on a plate. If I'm going to a restaurant to sit down, I don't want it in a cheap plastic basket. But luckily, I don't go out to restaurants any longer, and I don't eat of the meats, so I don't have to worry about Red Robin in my world. Is that it? Is that it? Those are the questions? All right, well, this is a memorable card. Oh, watch what I'm going to do. You're right. Should I do a pencil just to be nice? You know, I am the current owner of these questions. They are mass marketed, so it's not going to matter. So that is a check on that question. And let us look at the answers for today. Night Runner. Yeah, I don't know anything about Night Runner. Are there any Night Runner fans out in the world? Who's Night Runner? I'll have to look up Night Runner later. So look forward to a wiki link about Night Runner. Not Road Runner, not Knight Rider, Night Runner. I got the Knight Rider theme in my head now. Burp, 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 burp. Yeah. Lucius Fox, yes. Just couldn't remember the name. And I only know that because of Morgan Freeman. But, you know, I didn't read a lot of the Wayne Foundation books in the 70s. They were out there. That was before my time. During my time, don't remember a lot of Lucius Fox. I think the last show I said I stopped reading Batman after Nightfall, but I really stopped reading it after No Man's Land. That was a big old series to just end it, and I was fine with it. But there we go. And there was a lot going on that they got rid of too. I liked the Batgirl. That wasn't Barbara Gordon. I digress. That still exists. Go read it. It's some fun stuff. I should look at it as well. Death in the Family. Look, I got one right. That's one. Yay. Because it's in my area. It's in my Gen X zone. Death in the Family. That's going to be in my long-term memory for the long term. Until it's not. And I don't believe I read it or bought it at the time, but the ads were all over the place. In every DC book, it was Death in the Family, Death in the Family. Should Robin die? Da, 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 da. And there's a reason for that, because I don't think anybody was reading the Bat books. So you just like the death of Superman, get him interested, and off you go. All right. I have no idea who this is. This was not the something else I got it. I'm sure this was after my time. I don't know. It's a good thing that, you know, they were bringing more female figures into this brooding Batman book. That's probably why I was kind of turned off. There's only so much Batman one can take before it just starts to get redundant. So I'm glad they're shaking it up with some other characters. And I look down at the card and I'm seeing what's next, and wow, I was right. It was Red Robin. Not the best name. You should have stuck with Nightwing on that. Red Robin. And he was serving up burgers and fries to all the Kingdom Come Land folks doing their thing. Now, I think they had Dick Grayson work with, he was with the Superman side of things, right? Because I don't remember the specifics on Kingdom Come. I regret getting rid of the novelized version of it too. I should go find that again and read it. That was kind of nifty. Batman. Another day with Batman. I'm trying. But as far as pop quiz superhero trivia goes, not a lot of options there on the eBay. So I have a whole bunch of Batman cards. And I think I know my weaknesses. So somebody answered that question and dealt with my digressions. I'm getting the feeling that you want the questions answered and not my digressions, but I'm not going to just answer questions. This is who I am. All right, folks. Hope you had some fun with that one. And yeah, I'm going to put an end to this today. Go pick up some Huntress books, and I can geek out on that later. And I'm going to run up here to press stop.